Greetings, people of tomorrow. See a need, take the lead. Welcome to another episode of the Encore 36 podcast from AMSA UTAR. Today, we will be talking about mental health. Now, today we have 3 guests, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ching Wen. I'm from year 2 MBBS.
Hi, my name is Henry. Thanks for having me. I'm now in year 4 doing psychiatry posting.
Hi, my name is Keat. I'm currently 4th year medical student.
Okay, thank you guys for coming here today. And since today we will be talking about mental health, and what I would like you to share what is mental health and maybe define it in your own words. Start with you.
I think that mental health is how you feel mentally, something that not everybody can see. You may be showing like you're happy or sad, but then actually mentally you are not feeling it.
So before I can go into my own definition, just a little bit of WHO one lah. So follow the World Health Organization one. Mental health is defined as a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realizes their abilities, learn well, and also work well and contribute to their community. And to put it in simpler terms, mental health is more than just the absence of mental disorders, but it's also your ability to carry out your daily lives like studying and working well.
So what about Jimmy?
I agree with Manfai's point. On top of what he mentioned just now, I think mental health can also include psychological disability, which and also a range of problems, which include depression, anxiety, alcohol and drug use problem, marital problem, eating disorder, and also self-suicidal thought.
Okay, seems like the year 4 students really did their homework and, giving a really constructive definition. So, I noticed that you said about, one of you said about anxiety, and another is it will affect your ability to carry on daily works, right? So, what do you think, and how does the pressure that you feel right now in medical school can affect your own mental health? And probably you can share about your stressful moment in your medical life until now. Do you mind start first?
Yeah, I can. So just before we go into the how I cope with the stress lah, a little bit of introduction to mental health first lah.
Yeah.
So mental health in specific mental disorders. So how do we diagnose them? We actually have to follow a guideline called DSM-5. It's actually a psychiatric guideline lah. So before we make the diagnosis clinically, and as mentioned by Jimmy just now, the disorders would be like generalized anxiety attack, major depressive disorder, schizophrenia, or bipolar disorders. And before we actually go into all these disorders, we look at the DSM-5, and inside them they have this long list of criteria that you have to fulfill before you give the diagnosis. But the thing is, not every patient that come to you, they meet all these criteria. So you cannot just say like, oh, you didn't meet the criteria means you are very healthy. You cannot say like that. So they might come in with some early symptoms. So let's say depressive symptoms. They might have problems like inability to concentrate during your job or your study, which we might be able to relate for our medical school. They might also have loss of appetite or difficulty getting sleep, insomnia. So let's relate back into our medical school. I believe all of us here are already year 2, I guess.
Yeah, at
Because
least
already. I think we all did the first professional exam already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you recall back into the day before the exam, does anyone actually have insomnia? Well, maybe you can try to recall, because I think my batch, a lot of us did have, including myself. But does that count as depressive just because of one episode of insomnia? Definitely not. But if you think of it in another way, if the patient comes to you with a lot of times because of insomnia, and they also slowly develop the problems like losing appetite, feeling of guilt, etc., they might be in the progress of developing depression, which is a type of mental disorder. So I think that is how we relate to, in terms of medical school, how we relate to the symptoms.
Okay. Do you have any say on this?
So for your question on whether does pressure affect my own
Yeah, your
mental
journey
health, right?
throughout the medical school.
So I would like to say yes, because I was having a high academic pressure, especially during preclinical year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
I admit that my exam grade is always below my expectation.
We
Yeah.
have high standards.
Yeah, we have high standard, of course. And seeing my peers score better than me always make me feel depressed. Yeah. So this kind of depression in the long term, of course, is detrimental to our mental health, lah, I believe. So in addition to a few societies position, I was holding back about 4 to 5 society position.
Wow.
Yeah. So I often feel like suffocated. Okay. 窒息, okay.
Overwhelmed by the
Yeah,
schedule.
overwhelmed. Yeah. So and sometimes I have thought to give up all of them in order to focus on my study. But luckily, at last, I with a few support I have in my medical journey, I able to survive it, okay, and go through it. Of course, currently I have gave up all of them already, lah, okay, because new election was
Yeah.
undergo, right? So,
Right. What about
Yeah.
Ching Wen? Do you have? Can you share about
Yeah.
like, the stressful
Sure.
moment?
I think because I'm just year 2, so I don't have a lot of information to say just about like clinically, scientifically mental health problems. But I can share about my own experience. Like just a few months back, like maybe last year, I just have my first professional exam.
Yeah.
And I think all the year ones back then would actually agree it was very stressful.
Of course.
Really, right, Jerry? So not just the first prof, even starting from EOC 1, we can actually feel the extreme pressure.
Yeah, we are adapting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we are actually slowly adapting throughout the year, that year, and then until first prof, for that 3 months of preparation was just devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same like what Jimmy said, we always expect our grades to be slightly a little bit better.
Yeah.
Maybe we expect a B, but we always get a C plus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so-
Definitely.
Like, yeah, pressure in medical school is real. Yeah.
peer pressure.
Peer pressure. So when we talk about like right now, you talk about peer pressure, right? I would like to know a little bit more. Is it your stress completely come from like your peer or like the academic, or maybe it's from your own private life, and perhaps you can share how you are managing it. Probably start from Jimmy.
I think regarding the peer pressure is very obvious when you see that your friends score better while they are still able to maintain their normal social life.
Yeah.
But you struggle in your study, and you give even though you have given up all of your social life, you didn't hang out with your friends whenever there is. You didn't involve yourself in badminton, in any kind of sport, and try to get disconnected from your social circle. But you still get the score that's below your expectation. So all these superficies, it make me feel stressed lah, of course. Although I know that actually my friends, they work even harder than me when they are alone in their home. But I still feel the peer pressure lah from my friends.
So maybe like through that time, you are stressed with like a lot of your peers, and how do you, until now, I think how do you like overcome it? How do you release your stress during that time? Is it
Yeah.
just by studying harder than them?
You can say that, but actually what I do is that I try, because they are better than me, right?
Yeah.
They score better than me. So I will try to ask them to be my mentor.
Oh, okay.
Mentor.
That's a new way.
Yeah. So I believe they have their own study technique or method that might be useful for me. So I try to get the advice from them on how to survive in different kind of posting. Especially, I will get my advice from my mentor. As we all know, we have a mentor-mentee
Mentee program,
program
yeah.
in Utah, right?
Yeah.
Utah medical student among, so which year 2 will be the mentor of year 1. Yeah. And this kind of relationship I'm still maintaining until now today. So I'm grateful for my mentor,
That really helped you a
Crystal
lot.
Lau, who really helped me a lot. Yeah, and so I would I will look for my friends to support me throughout the academic year, and also most importantly, I also do my prayers. Yeah,
Oh.
do my prayers to God and wish that God can give me wisdom in coping my stresses. Of course, the most important thing is that um, after about 4 years of medical school, I start to learn how to say no.
Okay.
Say no.
That's a
Yeah.
really important thing.
Yeah. What it doesn't mean that is that we don't try to force ourselves into everyone's box or everyone's shoes. Okay, we have to uh, try to learn how to differentiate which thing or which activities that is important for you, which social activities that is not meaningful. Okay, because we know, you know how many hours in our life?
24 a day, 24 a day.
24, right?
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
24?
Yeah, and then you have 24, and then you deduct 8 hours of sleep,
Yeah. You just left about
Yeah.
16.
and then you deduct X hours for your to attend the classes, and then 2 hours to have your 3 meals per day. You still have 6 hours to carry out your revision and all the leisure activities, right?
Yeah. That's
And
not
also
enough.
you have to maintain a relationship with your family. So obviously we have to prioritize the work in our life. Yeah. So learn to say no, I would say.
Sure. I'll take that note. And Henry, do you have anything?
Well, to me personally, stress itself is come both way lah. It comes from the study, it comes from the peer pressure as well. Well, stress is actually like an expectation, and then expectation itself, it comes from ourselves, our family, friends, any classmates, even our lecturer, and in future, of course, our boss lah, our specialist. And you know, the funny thing is, in clinical year, we have a center called CTC. It's actually where we have our physical class done, and every morning in certain posting, we have to go there by 8:30 to thumbprint as a form of attendance lah. And in the CTC itself, right next to the entrance, there's a board there. So they actually paste our EOP result there every time. EOP is like you all EOC lah, is
Yeah.
our assessment lah.
Okay.
They paste the result there. So even though they do not have our name there, it's just the student ID and grade, but I believe all of us roughly know the ID belongs to who lah. So if you
Everyone
get a very
can know your grade.
yes, they will know it. Someone they group it according to your posting, then they will know, oh, this posting got who student they will know already. Then let's say you get a very good result, then of course congrats everyone know like you are a Sherpa. But if you let's say you fail, everyone knows as well. And for me that's peer pressure lah.
Oh, okay. What about Ching Wen?
I think, yeah, I kind of agree with them. Like, pressure does come from academic, peer, and also from yourself. By yourself, I mean what you expect from other people. Like, the peer thing is not just you comparing with the others, but also how the others sees you. Like, let's say if you fail, right? Kind of everybody knows that. And then you kind of know that everybody knows that, but then nobody says it. Everyone just like, hey, how are you doing? You're doing fine, But everyone just knows it. Like,
In
this
some
is
way,
this is
their
how the world works. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, expectations and non-expecting, it kind of goes around. Like, yeah. So no people actually go and say it out. So this is a kind of pressure, I think.
Okay. So maybe both of you guys can share, like, because you are like, there's some little subtle thing in life that people when talks to you that reminds you and giving you stress, or maybe add on some stress that you have right now. And until now, how do you overcome it? Like, could you share some? Maybe we have a listener that facing the same problem, so maybe you can share your tips of overcoming the stress. Perhaps anyone?
Okay, I think I can start. So coping stress, of course, is different for everyone lah. And for me, there's a lot of ways, and primarily it comes from the family support and friend support. I'm very grateful to my parents, my dad and mother, and because they always support me well. Whenever I go home, my mom will prepare very nutritious food like soups for me. She'll make sure I'm in my good physical health lah. And then when I come back to Ampang, she will also give me some supplements. And then my dad, he will make sure that I'm doing well financially lah. So thanks to them, I'm able to focus on academic.
Yeah.
Yeah, without having to worry about anything. That's one point. And another point is I always talk to my friends when there's some stress. So let's say whenever we go to the ward, sometimes we'll meet some very garang punya doctor lah.
Yeah.
They might just scold you for any minor mistake that you've done. And actually there's nothing to be mentioned about, nothing to be scolded about, but they would just marah. And then instead of keeping to yourself, just talk it out with your group mates. Maybe you can laugh it out together and then the stress will gone. It will be gone. But if you keep it to yourself, or you might think about it when you get home, slowly you will lose your motivation and you might start to feel afraid, to be afraid of that doctor, and you might eventually not going to the ward that often. So that's how it affects me lah.
Okay.
Always talk it out.
Sure. Talk it out. It's really important. Do you have it?
How to overcome stress?
yeah.
Like, for me, I think just find a hobby lah.
Find your
Yeah,
hobby.
and if you have like the special one, like your family members or what, just go for them and talk it out. If you don't have, then focus on yourself. Find a hobby and then just do the hobby. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. And I think we are like right now a bit serious when we are talking about this kind of thing. Maybe you change it into a little bit more funnier way, more joyful. Do you mind sharing if you have heard of or you know of any really funny way, really ridiculous way that your peers, your friends, they do when they are stressful and they do to release their stress? Maybe something interesting. Anyone can start. Do you have any pops up in your mind?
Jimmy will have a lot. Perhaps you can share.
Yeah, I met a lot of funny way my colleagues or my peers in relieving their stress for their academics. So one of the funniest way I've seen before is they try to make themselves to become a joker.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
搞笑啊，搞笑。
搞笑男。
I don't want to mention him lah. Okay. So what he did is that he tried to make other laugh with his funny jokes, but it works. Yeah. So I have asked about why he want to make others to laugh at him, and he tell me that because when he saw others smile or laugh at his jokes, he feels satisfied. Yeah. And eventually the stress seems relieved. Yeah. So I think this is one of the funny way lah I never seen before in my secondary school life. Yeah.
Wow, he is quite an interesting people.
Yeah.
What about Ching Wen? Maybe
I think just now I talked about hobby, right?
Yeah.
Just now I asked about my friends. Hey, what are the funny things you do to release stress? And there's this one friend who say like, because I find a hobby, and then my hobby is about buying idol cards, just like cards of idols. And then I said like, can I talk it to the podcast? She said, yeah, sure. So here I am lah. She actually bought like idol cards and then keep it in a very big book. And then she actually loved collecting the
It's
cards.
like the small
It's-
time we
yeah.
have the Pokemon's card. Or
just like with
Very cute.
Korean idol lah, not Pokemon lah, yeah. And it's actually it's not harming anyone, and then you're just actually contributing and doing your own things like a hobby. So I don't think there's anything bad about it lah. Yeah.
Obviously, if you are doing something that don't harms the other,
Yeah.
so you should keep doing it as long as you are happy. And one thing, because what I heard is you are living in a very supportive environment. Everyone is supporting you, so you seems to have a really healthy life, both physically and mentally. So do you like encounter any people that don't understand what your situation, like they don't understand why you are stressed, and then they don't really support you, and they think like you have nothing to stress about because you are financially stable, you are you have a good you are obviously you guys are studying doctor, so you probably have a good future ahead. So when people talk back to you, or they don't understand, and instead they are doing something that hurting you, not physically but verbally. So how do you feel? Any experience of this kind of thing?
To me personally, it's not until that serious that I feel hurt or anything lah. But it's just that other than medical psych circle, I actually have friends from other all walks of life lah, from other field, and most of them are already working now. So one thing when we are still student is that when we plan to go to trip, that's one very big issue for me, because everyone can just like, oh, I have holiday this day, I can just go for a trip. So for example, we look at UTAR. So let's say for a degree, they actually have like, I think it's 3 semesters per year, and each semester they actually have a break there. But
2
look
to
at us.
3 weeks. We don't have.
Where do we have the break? And you know, when you see your friends, like they can actually plan a trip, and then you cannot join because you only have public holiday as your holiday, or the few days after exam, maybe the weekend is the holiday for you. That's what I feel lah.
Okay. Oh, so anyone have any more to share about?
For me, first of all, I don't have a girlfriend. Okay. So I no need to get other people to understand my situation. Actually. So I will actually not. So what other people think about me, what are their perception? Actually, I don't really care about them. I just tell myself to focus on myself, and focus on the race. Okay, that's all. Because when you think in that way, you won't have the time to bother about others.
The distractions.
Yeah, the distraction or others. They are questioning. They might make you feel stressed. To get their understanding on your situation, so that we can have time to focus on the solutions and also the improvement for the source of stress.
Oh, sure. Thank you. And so now I think it's time for us to spice it up. So, okay, since we all medical students, and they in medical field, especially when you are studying this degree, they tend to have a stereotype that this degree is very hard. In fact, it is hard, and probably sometimes you are stressed, and then you might talk it out to express your feeling. Okay, and I'm sure that there might be some people that would be thinking, why you guys are still whining here, throw some tantrum, and then although this hard, pathway would be hard, and you still choose it, and if it's your choice, and they maybe think that you don't have the you don't deserve to whine, to be stressed about you, because it's what you choose. So do you have any say on this? What about you?
I think if people just criticize me for whining, it would be actually totally fine. Because the fact that I chose this, and then it's hard, and then I'm whining, it's all the truth. And then if you're asking, why are you whining? You ended up choosing it yourself. It is complete truth. Yeah, nothing to deny about it. I'm actually whining because only I'm the one who knows about my own situation, and I really don't expect other people to understand about it, because the same way, I don't understand how other people understand about their own situation. So if you wanna just spit it out, throw tantrums saying like, why are you whining? I'm actually like, it's alright, no big deal.
Sure. Do you have?
To me, if you are whining, then just stay true to yourself lah. If others cannot understand you, then it's totally fine. Like let's say different professions, they might have different type of stress. Investor, they have to look at the stock every day, and we have to learn how to manage patient every day. And some people might not be able to understand like our commitment that we spend. Like we might want to tell them that, oh, I have to go back and study this first. I cannot join the event later. I cannot commit to this and that. They might not be able to understand, but we know what we are doing. So just politely tell them that you cannot commit to something, and continue to do what you want to do. If you want to whine, that's fine as well.
Sure. Jimmy, you.
Yeah, for me, objectively speaking, I believe most of us are not born with golden keys, right?
Yeah.
金汤匙，金锁是金汤匙. Yeah. So all the pathway that we will be walking through will be hard in our life, though. If we want to get a better materialistic life, okay. So no matter you are an engineer, an architect, a lawyer or you're a chef, there's always challenges or temptation. There is waiting for you to overcome it. So, but we must tell ourselves that all these temptation are those we are going to overcome it. Okay, because based on our capability. Okay, so all we have to do is to endure it with our full effort, no matter how the result is. And I believe the existence is to make us stronger. Okay, so yeah, there's no easier route to success lah.
Yeah, obviously. So, just out of curiosity, I would like to ask both of you, Henry and Jimmy. So, actually, because I heard you say that there are some doctors in the ward that would, humiliate or maybe scold you in front of a lot of people, a lot of patients. Which one do you prefer, being scolded or being mocked by the doctor?
Scolded or mocked?
Yeah.
Well, it's very hard to choose. Scolded or mocked?
Which one do you think, like, after you gone through this process, like being mocked or being scolded, which one do you feel better eventually? Like,
for me, I think it's just getting scolded is totally fine lah, because healthcare is a very chaotic place. So you kind of expect that you'll be scolded whenever you are inside the ward. Even if you just stand still in the entrance blocking the way, you will gonna marah one. You really have to be sengmok. It's okay lor. Don't take it personally. If you get scolded, then the next time you won't get scolded again because you know what you did wrong last time. So you just learn slowly lah. In fact, the more you're getting scolded when you're a student now, the better, because when you're in houseman, you are getting scolded means you're not able to commit your job well, and there's no chance for you to learn at that time. So you try to make more mistake now and learn as much as you can now.
Okay. What about Jimmy?
I agree with Manfai point lah. As a medical student, we should no. I'm not trying to ask you to do more mistake, but it's unavoidable that we will be doing mistake. So you just no need to bother about it. You just do the mistake, okay? So that you get scolded, and then you know that it is the wrong way. Okay, it's better to know now rather than houseman, because we are going to treat patient in the future, right? Yeah. We can't commit any faults when we are performing the treatment. But as a medical student, if we do anything mistakenly, I think it won't affect the patient much.
When you get scolded as well.
Yeah, I always get scolded. Yeah, yeah, because
seems like you guys have immune to it.
Yeah, I'm getting immune.
Kind of
being
immune. Okay. Because actually, do you guys regret being a medical student? Because although we always stress, but do you regret at any point?
Well, if I have to say, it's definitely a no. I never regret, but sometimes I do have doubts on my capability. Either am I really capable of being a doctor? Because I'm now in year 4, and in 2 years' time it will be houseman. So I don't think I'm well prepared to shoulder all the responsibilities. I don't think I deserve to be called a doctor at that time, and that's what I always doubt lah. And something I came up with is that instead of always self-doubting, maybe we can try to use the time to study instead. Because I think whenever I start to do something, I will feel better. I will stop doubting myself. So maybe there's something I would like to try lah. I also struggle on my own way now.
Sure. Ching? Until now, although you are year 2, probably you can share.
Regretting.
Yeah, regretting.
For now, I don't think so, but it is not a definite answer.
Yeah.
Because I'm still like only 40% way through the medical school. Yeah, I know it's gonna get tougher and tougher. So for now, it's a no. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on answering these questions?
For me, I'm not regret to be a medical student. In fact, I wish to be medical student longer. Maybe a few more years. Maybe 5 to 6 years more. So why I think this kind of thought is because I found that as I go through more and more medical posting during my clinical year, I found that I'm just a tiny needle in the ocean. Yeah, the knowledge that I know is I think it's still not
Sufficient. Like,
sufficient and capable for me to perform any treatment in the future lah, with full confidence. Yeah, of course we can just graduate like a normal normal graduate did with maybe normal grade, like maybe CGPA 3.0. But I think for me, I still need a few more years to become a medical student, so that I can be prepared to become a competent doctor in the future. And I'm also not regret to be a medical student, because I think that medical journey is a rewarding career for me. Other than the social status that the society
Yeah.
generally assume that we are on a high position.
Yeah.
The most happiest thing I think I will be a doctor is that I can witness the smile on the patient
Yeah.
after they get full recovery.
Sure.
Yeah. So I didn't regret.
That's true joy.
Yeah.
So today we have both of you year 4, and you are currently now doing your psychiatric posting,
Yes.
right? And just now I heard that you mentioned about a criteria that diagnose depression called DSM-5, is it?
Yeah.
So because obviously it's a very complicated and a very long criteria. So do you mind sharing to the audience today, what should they be aware? Any signs that could be could be the thing that indicates they have either mild depression or already in the middle of depression. Anything that they can aware themselves.
Okay, perhaps I can share more about this DSM-5 criteria in depression. First of all, we actually, because there's a lot of criteria, we memorize them. So there's this mnemonics for depression. It's called SIGCAPS, SIGECAPS, where I used to memorize lah. So the first of all will be sleep deficit. For people with depression, they might not be able to sleep as long. They will have insomnia. So they might, let's say they used to sleep like 8 hours, but now they might just sleep for 3 hours. And the next one is we also have loss of energy, fatigue. So you will see that, or maybe he's able to eat well, also no stress from the academy, all doing well, but then you will see that he's just low in energy throughout the day. Even after he tried to get some sleep, get some afternoon nap, go to the bed early, he will still wake up very tired one. There's low energy lah. Also, he might have something known as anhedonia. It's actually you don't enjoy what you used to like to do. In simpler terms, it's like interest loss lah. So let's say you might have a hobby like cafe hopping. Every week, you will sure go to like all the cafe to try out all the nice food, and then just sometime, at some point in your life, you will stop doing that, and you wouldn't realize it. That's what we call interest loss. 1, 2, 3. Also, feeling of guilt. Feeling of guilt means that you always blame yourself for some minor mistakes. So let's say today you incidentally do something, it's a very minor mistake, like you just broke a cup of tea. And I think many people, we did that before, but for people with who are depressive, they might just continue to blame themselves for days, for weeks. They might keep thinking about it. That's feeling of guilt lah. Also, some more that we can know about is that, as mentioned, reduced concentration. So the patient might not be able to concentrate well during his job or study. You will see that the performance will be lost slowly. I think there are a few that we have to keep in mind on. Of course, there are a lot of criteria.
So if they have my like sign of bits of symptoms, how can they seek for help? Let me put it in this way. Like, is it embarrassing for a young student or even young man to seek for help?
Definitely. In not only in Malaysia but in a lot of countries, there is this ongoing stigma that actually prevents people from getting the help they need. And in order to stop this stigma, first we need to clear the misconception lah. And the misconception is that many people, as mentioned, think that only people with mental disorders need to take care of their mental health. But actually it's not. So if you ever suspect yourself of having any symptoms, always if you are youngsters, talk to your parents. And if they are really not able to understand you, I would advise to just go to seek for any treatment lah.
Okay.
Either in the primary care first, so that they might refer you
to the specialist. Okay, okay. Thank you. So I guess it's the end of the episode. Do you guys have any more questions, or maybe you have anything that you want to share about? Possibly. Okay, so thank you guys for coming here, especially the year 4 students who share a lot, both your own experience and also the professional info that you have. And also thank you, Ching Wen, for sharing. I think the sharing that you guys did just now would help a lot of us actually, because I will still feel stress sometimes, especially when I see my peers doing better than me. I feel I couldn't say it's jealous, but it's just something that in your something that inside your mind that would.
We all feel the same way. It's
I
very
understand
normal.
that.
So thanks again for coming, and then we have prepared some appreciation gift. So thank you for coming. First is Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy, for coming. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and thank you, Henry. Thank you,
Alright.
Henry, for coming.
Thanks for
nice
having
to meet
us.
you. Thank you. And lastly, Ching Wen. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think it's the end of the episode. For any guys, you have any questions, please leave it down below and we will reply it. Okay, and thank you guys. Building bridges, sharing dreams. Viva AMSA.